Social traps that break your mind. There's a silent war being waged every day. Not in the streets, not in politics, not in the headlines, but in your own mind. And the enemy is invisible. It doesn't come with weapons or threats. It comes with likes, comments, comparisons, false expectations, distractions, gossip, and the constant need to be seen, liked, and validated. These are social traps, the kind the Stoics warned us about centuries ago. And while the world has changed, the mind hasn't. We're still vulnerable to the same manipulations, just delivered in different forms. Stoicism isn't just ancient philosophy, it's a modern-day survival strategy. It teaches you how to protect your mind from being broken by the world around you. Today, we'll break down the most dangerous social traps that destroy focus, peace, and self-respect, and show you how a Stoic would escape them. Let's start with the most common and deceptive trap of all: the need for validation. In a society where everyone broadcasts their life 24/7, it's easy to fall into the loop of needing others to notice you, approve of you, and applaud you. You post something, then check your phone 5 times in the next hour. You share an idea, then hope it's well received. You hold back a truth because you fear being judged. This is how the mind begins to break, not all at once, but piece by piece. Because every time you hand your self-worth over to the opinions of others, you lose control over who you are. You become a reflection of trends, applause, and the crowd's reaction, not of your values. The Stoics knew this trap well. Marcus Aurelius said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." When you live for validation, you die by criticism. So how do you escape? You detach. You learn to give yourself what the world refuses to: acceptance without conditions. You act with virtue, not performance. You speak what's true, not what's popular. And you remember, if you truly respect yourself, you will not beg others to do it for you. The second social trap is comparison. This one is especially toxic in the digital age. You scroll through your feed and see filtered lives, curated lifestyles, highlight reels masked as everyday life. You start to feel behind, less successful, less attractive, less worthy. Not because anything is actually wrong with your life, but because someone else is showcasing their best 5% and you're comparing it to your full reality. This is psychological warfare, and it's designed to keep you chasing. The Stoics warned us against this centuries ago. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." In other words, don't look sideways. Look inward. A Stoic measures progress by discipline, not display. He doesn't compete with others. He competes with yesterday's version of himself. When you stop comparing, you begin to see clearly. You realize you are not behind, you are simply on your path. And your path is not meant to look like anyone else's. Freedom begins the moment you stop looking over your shoulder. The third trap is one of the most addictive: the pursuit of popularity over principle. In today's world, there's pressure to be agreeable, likable, marketable, to say the right things, post the right opinions, align with the right groups. It's not about truth, it's about trend. Not about courage but comfort. You're encouraged to smooth your edges, to stay silent when you should speak, and to perform instead of think. And eventually, your voice becomes an echo of whatever keeps you safe and approved. But Stoicism demands integrity. It teaches that principle is more important than popularity. Seneca said, "A great man is one who can be in the midst of the crowd and keep his virtue." To be Stoic is to speak truth, even when it's unpopular. To choose what is right over what is easy. To be rooted in your values, even when the crowd pulls in the opposite direction. If you spend your life chasing approval, you'll never find yourself. So stop adjusting your beliefs to please others. Hold your ground, not with arrogance, but with quiet strength. Because the world doesn't need more agreeable people. It needs more people who stand for something real. The next trap is information overload. We live in a time where you can access anything at any moment, and it's destroying attention spans. Critical thinking and emotional resilience. You're exposed to more news in 1 week than a Roman emperor saw in his lifetime. And most of it is negative, urgent, dramatic. When you consume too much, you stop processing. You become reactive, anxious, emotionally exhausted. Marcus Aurelius said, "You always own the option of having no opinion." That's Stoic wisdom in action. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to react to every event. Most of it doesn't concern you. And if it does, you'll be better prepared to face it from a place of calm and clarity. Not from panic and overload. Control your inputs. Curate your feed. Limit your screen time. Choose books over clickbait. Choose depth over noise. Because a sharp mind cannot exist in a dull environment. The fifth trap is emotional dependency on public reaction. In this one, your emotional state rises and falls based on how others respond to you. A compliment makes your day. A criticism ruins your week. You begin to live on a roller coaster controlled by other people's opinions. This is not strength. It's slavery. And the worst part? It's self-imposed. The Stoic masters understood that real freedom is internal. It's not about having power over others. It's about not needing anything from them to feel complete. Epictetus taught that no man is free who is not master of himself. So ask yourself, who do you give emotional power to? And why? If a stranger's comment can ruin your day, you've handed them your peace for free. Take it back, not with anger, not with pride, but with awareness. A Stoic remains unmoved not because he doesn't feel, but because he has trained himself to respond. Not react. He observes. He breathes. He remains anchored. That's not indifference. That's power. The final social trap is busyness as status. In modern culture, being overwhelmed is almost a badge of honor. People compete to see who's more tired, more booked, more in demand, but underneath it all is fear. The fear of being still, of being alone, of having nothing to distract you from yourself. So you fill your schedule. You rush from task to task. You keep the noise on, hoping it drowns the voice inside that's asking real questions. Stoics did the opposite. They prized stillness. They carved out time for reflection. They knew that silence was not empty, it was where the soul recalibrates. You don't need to be everywhere. You don't need to do everything. You just need to live on purpose. Be fully present in fewer things, rather than half present in everything. Slow down. Do less. But do it better. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, if you seek tranquility, do less, or do what's essential, which brings a double satisfaction. To do less, better. That is the Stoic way. So let's recap the 6 social traps that break your mind. 1. The need for validation. 2. Comparison. 3. Popularity over principle. 4. Information overload. 5. Emotional dependency. 6. Busyness as a badge. These aren't obvious enemies. They wear the mask of modern life. But they're weakening your mental clarity, your emotional stability, and your inner peace. The Stoics didn't escape the world. They lived in it, but they did so with discipline, clarity, and intention. You can't control the world, but you can control how you show up in it. You can protect your mind. You can preserve your peace. You can build a life based on virtue, not vanity, on purpose, not performance. And when you do, the world no longer breaks you, because you're no longer built on it. You are built from within, unshaken, unmoved, unbreakable. That's Stoicism. That's freedom. And that is power.